Here we
What's
are,
up?
episode two.
Hi there,
Episode
Dan. How are
two.
you?
I'm good. I'm in a nice, quieter place in the house now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is our second podcast. We tried to have a podcast on Christmas. We ran
Yeah,
into technical difficulties and it didn't work.
yeah,
So we are back here on New Year's Eve.
correct. Well, close to New Year's Eve, yes.
Close
We're,
enough.
we're 3 days out from the revelry. I'm sure
Yeah.
you and I have similar opinions on that.
Perhaps we don't know because we don't really practice or do any homework before we roll into these
No,
podcasts.
we want it to
We
be
just we
authentic.
just yenter. You know what, Dan? We just yenter it up, really, right?
Yes, yes. Yenta. We do some yenta-ing for
Yeah.
for an
Yes.
hour. But yeah, I mean, it's a holiday I can't stand. I don't know how you feel about it. I actually prefer Christmas to New Year's, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Tell me how you feel about New Year's Eve. You go first.
here's a good sum up.
Yeah.
So it okay. First of all, it combines many things I don't like,
Right.
which is loud noises. Okay, I don't like
Mm-hmm.
that. People screaming and revelry for no good reason, in my opinion. I mean, I understand it's a new year, whatever.
Right.
And in general, just down here especially, you get people buying the fireworks. I hate the fireworks. I have animals. Animals hate the fireworks.
Yeah. That's
So,
valid.
and in general, I mean, Christmas at least lasts like the season lasts like a month, and people are distracted, and I can go about my business, and they're off buying gifts and getting the GI Joe with the kung fu grip and all that. But there's something about New Year's, man. I mean, partially because it's that 1 week after Christmas where normalcy returns quickly, like January
Yeah.
3rd or whatever. So yeah, people are going to come back to work and start harassing me, and like just so many things rolled into one.
I have similar opinions, I think, but for different reasons. Like I love loud noises, right? But I don't, New Year's Eve. Look, it's like a rookie's night as far as when it goes to partying. So if you go out to a bar or whatever, you're going to see a lot of like first timers and people partying that really don't know how to. I don't like New Year's Eve for a different reason. I mean, most people know I'm like 18 years clean and sober, and so things that revolve around nothing but alcohol, really, I'm not a fan of. Of course, I go out and I party where there's alcohol around, but when it's just the main thing, which clearly New Year's Eve, that's all it's about. I mean, that's what I say. You just go out, get as shit faced as possible, and that's what it's about. I'm not like you. I'm just not a fan. I mean, the animals, that's terrible. Like my dog doesn't give a shit about the fireworks too much. But yeah, I'm not a fan. And one thing I don't like about it is if you should try to head out on New Year's Eve and do something,
Yeah.
it's like a war zone. I don't like heading out when everyone else is heading out and it's a fucking
Yes.
war zone out there.
Correct.
Like you
Yes.
don't want to be out there on the streets, when everything's loaded with drunk drivers and look, I'm a good driver, but I worry about other people. And like that's a bad night to be out. Like I think about New Year's Eve as a lot like, like an apocalyptic event. Like you stay the fuck inside, you make sure you have all your food and don't go out there because there's zombies or whatever. Like you'll be safe if you stay the fuck inside. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan. You know what? New Year's Eve
Here's a fun question. Fun question.
What's that?
Can you even remember the last time you were at an event for New Year's Eve that actually went into the new year where you were literally out past midnight?
I mean, of course I remember it, Dan, but I mean,
How long ago was it? Is that what I'm asking?
A good 30 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Mine isn't 30, but it's got to be a decade or more for sure.
No, you're right. Yeah. Hold on, let me think of that. So when I was out and I actually like was with people, and then you see it's midnight.
Right. You can see the ball drop, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be a long ass time ago. Definitely, it's okay. So if I've been clean and sober for 18 years, it's going to be at least 18 years ago. So probably sometime when I was living in Moab, Utah, maybe 25 years ago or something, or I mean, I don't fucking know.
I
A
don't
long
remember.
ass
I
time.
don't even
Yeah.
remember last time I did because it's I've never liked it, and I like beer and I enjoy drinking occasionally, but
Well, you know,
I've never really liked New Year's. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
like to, okay. I had a really good New Year's Eve once when I was like I think I don't know, like fucking like 19. 19, me and my good friend, we got on a train in Manasquan, New Jersey, where we grew up, went to New York City, lied to our parents, like, yeah, we're going to someone other party. We went to New York City because we found out that there was a bar in Thompson Square Park called Alcatraz that notoriously didn't card people. We were underage. So like, let's go. So me and my friend went. We got robbed at gunpoint in Thompson Square Park trying to buy some weed. Didn't slow us down. We went back into this bar, continued to party, party, party. We had no plan how we were going to get home the night after the train stopped rolling. We stayed in the bar. We drank. We end up waking up in some, woman's apartment and getting out of there, tiptoeing around the puddles of vomit that were in the hallway that were from us probably, and went home. I mean, that was a great story. That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
But that's the last really true time I remember having a full, New Year's Eve. But I mean, that's for when you're in your 20s. That's when you party. That's when you do that kind of shit.
It's funny. One of these days we're going to do an episode on this, but the oppositeness of our lives. We've arrived in the same place. We're both like 50 and annoyed, and like the same general lifestyle. Like we've kind of arrived at the same place. But when you
sort of the same place, but pretty good, pretty similar.
Pretty similar lifestyles and what we like, what we don't like. But it's amazing the roads that how we took, how different they are. Because
I was straight up sketchy for a really long time.
Whereas I was a nerd, I've never, to this day, I'm 50 years old. I've never tried weed. Never even tried it.
Wow, that's amazing. What about acid and LSD? Have you done those?
I've tried nothing. Now, look, I drank a lot in college, beer and stuff. But like, it was one of those things where I grew up. It was wrong. You're not supposed to do it. I went to a lot of heavy metal shows as a kid, and everyone was smoking the cheap weed. I just hate the smell of it, just because I just grew up with a bias. I mean, I'm pro legalization and all that, but I'm just not something I ever wanted to do myself. So, and I've had
we definitely had different paths getting here for sure.
Many have tried to get me to try it, and I'm like, well, I'm made it to 50. I feel like I need to. I gotta finish it out. I gotta beat the guy who dies never trying weed. I don't know.
I mean, there's plenty of people like that. Well, not plenty, but I know a few, and it always blows me away because I'm like, wow, you never tried it. Like that's amazing. With all the, peer pressure that especially teenagers of the 80s, like how you get through, how you got to where you are now without even trying weed is astounding.
I had no friends, man. I was a nerd. I was a straight A student and a dork, and I had like no friends. And the friends I did have, we would play Dungeons and Dragons and shit. That's
oh my goodness!
Like you and I arrived.
That's different.
We arrived at the same place, but took different paths. So back to New Year's. So let's have fun with New Year's, because like one thing that annoys me a lot about New Year's is these schmucks with their resolutions that never ever like work out. You know? Where they start with something, okay, let's pick a bad habit. I'm overweight, or I eat too many French fries, or I smoke too much. Whatever it is, they start with a bad habit, and hey, it goes pretty well for a while, right? They go to the gym. They say, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to buy a gym membership.
New year, new me.
Right. New year, Jew me.
Right.
And so basically they pick the bad habit. They feel great about themselves. Look at me. I've turned over a new leaf. I've stopped the bad habit. Everything's great. And then, oh, wait a minute. I forgot. It became a bad habit for a reason. Oh, what happened to me? Look at this. I am back to the bad habit. Whatever will I do?
Yeah.
Oh, now we move into the self-loathing stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to lose that weight, but God, I love cheeseburgers, and man, I got, the job is killing me. The boss is riding me, busting my hump, and then where we land, of course, rinse, repeat. Next year, start all over again, like it never happened. And it's like,
so this is a very true thing, because like, I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this to some level, but I'm aware of it. I mean, I do have a gym membership. It doesn't revolve around January 1st though. You know what I mean?
You keep it. You don't.
So I'm guilty of it too. Like I have a gym membership, and I mean, it's not too much. It's $10 a month. even in this very frugal household, I mean, it's still like, shit, I feel a little bad about it. But the way, and I did some research on this, gyms always love doing this like deal where like, oh, they love January 1st. That's why when you watch the ball dropping in New York City in Times Square, guess who the biggest sponsor of that is? You probably haven't watched it on TV in a while.
Like
They're
Anytime Fitness.
It's fucking Planet Fitness. Like literally they hit you over the head. The New York Times Square thing, they're wearing the hats and the thing, and they also just Planet Fitness. Like everywhere you look is Planet Fitness. Like it's so heavily, marketed. But anyway, they do that to get you in, oh, new year, new me. And then you get in. And Planet Fitness loves this because they love guys like me that will continue to pay and just not ever go in there. Like it's probably, I've probably been paying my $10 a month. I haven't been in there in fucking 6 months.
Oh, you're the dream. You're the dream, of course.
They love that. They love guys like me. But I know that I'm guilty of this whole situation because if I give up, if I stop and say, you know what, cancel my membership, then I feel like, wow, I'm such a piece of shit, like I just I don't go to the gym. But there's part of it that's like, I don't know how you feel, but I'm 55 and there comes a point where like, okay, I have a mirror. I know what I look like. I know what I feel like. At some point you're just like, I just don't give a fuck anymore. What do you think?
It's less about not giving a fuck to me as it is being realistic about myself and what I will do, what I won't do, and what I can stick with. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I go to the gym and I go January 3rd and I get a membership to Anytime Fitness or whatever, I'll go twice and then I will find ways to get out of it. I know what will happen.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. It's not even, oh, maybe this time will be different. No, it's the same thing. Like recently I really had to lose some weight. I was on the scale. I'm like, this is out of hand. And I said to myself, okay.
Do you care to share with me and the audience what that number is? So I'll tell you
that number. See, I'm not a good looking man. I have one.
You're extremely good looking.
I have one.
Let me just stop you right there.
I have one positive attribute, and that is I spread weight very evenly. So I can weigh a lot, but you won't be able to tell because I don't put it all in one place.
You wear it well. You wear the weight well.
A lot of people put weight in one place, like just your belly, just your butt. And so it's just painfully obvious when you're fat or when you've gained a lot of weight. With me, I spread it around. So I got up to 230.
Oh my! I didn't know you were 230. I wouldn't be able to guess that in a million years.
5'11", so I got up to, I'm like, and I'm looking at that scale. I'm like, okay, all right.
So is it a numbers thing where, Dan, because it's like we all have that number, we're like, so you're probably like what, 225, and you're like, it's not the worst in the world. But when you saw that 3, right, of the 30, is that like that's what it? Oh, well,
fuck. 225 would have made me hate myself too, but 230 was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I was like, okay,
like you were definitely hating yourself. How often do you weigh yourself?
Not often, but enough to kind of keep track of what's going on,
I weigh myself every fucking day, and I've got a big piece of paper that I write down that like it's a list, and I can see what the numbers are. It fluctuates up and down, and I've got a number too that horrifies me. Like I'm 5'9", and I don't distribute it well. It's like all in my belly and all in my head, and it looks so gross, right? And I've got these thin legs and everything, but like. When I get on the scale, for a while I was holding off at like 162, and I was like, oh, that's good. 162, that's pretty good for me. Then it's like 170. Now it's like creeping. Like when it gets above 170, 172, I'm like, oh, gross. But I know like after the holidays, like I go nuts. Like from Thanksgiving on, I just don't give a fuck because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday and I will eat mass quantities. I'm talking multiple pumpkin pies. Like I just eat it right out of the pie, right out of the fucking container.
Yeah. To the holiday time, no one expects to lose weight.
I just let it go. Like I just eat with reckless abandon and, I just don't care. So for me, the number is 180. Like I haven't seen 180 yet, but it's getting fucking close. Like the other day it was like 176 and I'm like, oh my God. And I've never been 180 before, so I know, and my better half lets me know. She's like, "Oh my God, you're a little."
Yeah, I got one like that too.
So you tried. So you've been trying to. You were saying, I'm sorry. Forgive me for interrupting.
No. This is where one of my good qualities and my self-awareness comes into play. I knew when I saw that number, I'm like, okay, I gotta do something. But I said, look, I don't want to do something for a month lose the weight, and then put it all back on, right? I
Yeah.
said, I need to find something that is a permanent change that I know I can stick with permanently,
Right.
right?
What'd you
So
land on?
what I did was I said, all right, no more snacking after 7 p.m. That's it.
Wow.
If I
Okay.
absolutely want something to eat after 7, I'll have some grapes or I'll have a popsicle or something. But
Drink a
that's it.
glass of water. That's it.
That's it. And I
Yeah.
did that. I did that for a while, and I took off over 20 pounds. I did.
See, that's smart. That's a really good change of behavior that's doable. I know other people have super simple things. One thing that most overweight people can do and should do is like stop drinking soda. Like straight up,
Yes.
like
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
yeah, it's like the worst thing.
It's gotta go. You got to stop drinking that entirely. What I do a lot of the times is intermittent fasting, but not in the way that most people think. Like, excuse me, I'm going to make a loud belch right here. Okay, it wasn't loud. I'm going to try to like do intermittent fasting. Like I only eat twice a day, like a late breakfast and a big early. I have a big early dinner, and no snacking at all through the course of the day. Just I eat twice, and it's a big meal, but that's it. So I'll easily go 10 hours without eating, 12 hours without eating.
Yeah,
I do that on the regular.
Days also, I'll eat a lunch and I'll eat a dinner. So I got that going for me. But
Yeah.
really, the snacking thing is what was killing me. And look, I plateaued a bit, and I've put on a little during the holidays, which I will try to take off.
Well, good for you, Dan.
But I'm not doing any resolutions. I'm just going to continue to do what I have been doing.
Oh yeah, no, I don't write down resolutions and stuff because I know that's just like fucked up. Like it's just like, oh, I got to do this. Like I know the things that I got to do.
Yeah,
I know the shitty parts about my life I got to fix.
The more simple and sustainable it is, the better success you're going to have over time.
Yeah.
I mean,
like right now, I'm just struggling.
Drastic changes are not sustainable.
Oh no, it's definitely true. All about the small. Like if you can make a small step, that's the key in this whole thing. I've learned that enough in my life to know that. So, yeah, I feel you on that.
I'm dying to hear about your Scottsdale situation.
Oh my God!
Because
is this the part of the show where it's called What's annoying me this week?
You teased me said you had a day, and I know with you that means there's got to be some good stories. So I want to hear all about this. When preparing for the show, I've been only through Scottsdale. I've driven through. I've never actually been there.
Right.
And I was looking at some pictures of like Old Town Scottsdale, and my sphincter kind of seized up, and like I was like, oh God, this looks like a lot of honkies, a lot of dudes who play golf and who enjoy.
A lot of napkin colored people. Okay, here's the thing. What's annoying the goy this week is the town of Scottsdale, Arizona. Fucking hate it. Now I live in Mesa, which has its own problems. We talked about it. The old white boomers, the rednecky vibe, and whatever. So lately, a while ago, I fucked up my knee, I fucked up my meniscus, and now I got to go to physical therapy. The physical therapist is in fucking Scottsdale. So twice a week lately, I've been driving up to Scottsdale. And I always avoid Scottsdale no matter what. I fucking hate it. But I get there, and I've been having experience after experience that just solidifies in my mind why I fucking hate Scottsdale. And the other day, I texted you like, boy, I had a fucking day. And this was it. So I wake up, I'm like, okay, I got to go to Scottsdale to go to physical therapy. Get in the car, and I go. You drive up in there, and they all start driving kind of bad, whatever. Then you get there, and I pull up to this, and of course, it's like, okay, so for the people that don't know, Scottsdale is very, very affluent. Very, very white. I did the statist. I looked it up. It's easily like 82% white, the town of Scottsdale. And there's these viral videos that come out where like these people and these entitled rich people and Karens, they start tossing around the N-word and being abusive towards, people that are working in stores. It's always out of Scottsdale. And there's a couple famous ones right now that are coming out of Scottsdale. I'm like, oh, that tracks. So, wait,
hold on, Bruce. You're saying if you saw me walking around Scottsdale, you would assume that I'm a bad guy.
And I was going to talk, yeah, absolutely.
I'm a little upset about that.
No. But look, I would assume I'm a bad guy too. Here's the problem. So I go to Scottsdale and I walk around. I have this loathing towards the people that are there. Like, so in other words, okay, I'll get to it 100%, but I'm guilty too, because I have a mirror, right? So anyway, I'm fucking 55. But so I get to the physical therapist place and I get out and I'm very visual. and I'm very aware of my surroundings. I look at the cars in this parking lot. I'm like, oh my God, look at these fucking vanity license plates. There, people are trying to flex how cool they are and how wealthy they are, you know? And so like one luxury car to the next. I go right in the front. There's a car parked crooked in the handicap place. It's a fucking golden black Rolls Royce, like straight up old school looking Rolls Royce that just drips wealth, like, you know, like from the movies, right? And I'm like, fuck. And I almost wanted to take a picture of it because I had this visceral reaction, like, I fucking hate this car. I hate whoever drives this car. I hate this is around. Now, people might be, Bruce, you know, you're just, you know, people are allowed to be rich. They're allowed. I'm like, okay, that might be true, whatever. But in this day and age, how do you not have the self-awareness to like realize that, like, really driving around a Rolls Royce? Like, what are you even doing? But
Man,
anyway,
this is a function of where you live. I'm telling you, down here, the really rich people, like the real money, you'd never know it. They drive pickup trucks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A guy with
they're horse people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like
I have no problem with that kind of wealth. Like if they're gonna, but it's just the flexing of it. It's just it's kind of a bad look. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
And other people think, oh, that's ridiculous. Like I know I'm going to get hate mail for this. Like, oh, this is ridiculous, Bruce. Why do you? No. There's no reason to be driving a Rolls Royce to go to the fucking physical therapist to park it. By the way, it's parked right up front. So because I'm on the bikes, you know, the physical therapy bikes, and everyone's looking at this guy. It's like right there. He knows people are looking at him. It's in front of a bank of windows, and this motherfucker. So that annoys me right off the back. Then I walk in, and there's a guy yelling at the thing about the Scottsdale is it's all dudes that look like me and you. That's the problem. And they're a little younger too, but it's all white people. And they're this attitude, this sort of like arrogance, you know, they're not humble. And they like to fly. It's these motherfuckers with those kind of hemmed shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see those shorts with a belt tucked in. It's like, this guy's a fucking problem. Yeah. So see the guy in the back of the picture right there wearing the white shorts, like this guy. So I walk in to go to the physical therapy place, and it's a waiting room filled with old white people, whatever. Everyone hurt their knee. And I'm aware, like, this is the thing, like, oh shit. The horrifying thing is, I know I'm one of them. That's the real nightmare of it all. It's like, holy fuck, I'm one of these guys. Like inside, I'm this cool 17-year-old with a mohawk still that's alternative. Like, okay. But then I walk in front of a mirror and I catch my reflection. Yeah. And it makes me want to vomit. I'm not kidding. So anyway, I go in there and I see dudes that look like me and you, and these dudes over here. There's one person of color in the whole office, and he's working there behind the computer in the reception area. I tell you right off the bat, right after I saw the Rolls Royce, I see this dude here yelling at the black guy that's working the reception area. I just catch the tail end of the thing. He's like, oh, that's ridiculous. You knew I was scheduled for this Thursday, blah, blah, blah. And the guy totally had to be cool, of course. Like, sir, I apologize on behalf of the physical therapy team here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just, it's that again, that makes me sick to my stomach again. Now I'm like, great. This guy is, you know, being abusive towards this guy for no reason. There's no reason. You think this guy's in charge of it? No. Anyway, so that pisses me off, whatever. Serenity now. I got to calm down. Okay, so now.
So you got, honkies at the PT place. Got it. All right.
All right. So then I get out of physical therapy and I got to drive into Scottsdale because I want to get a bagel. Now, you and I have talked about bagels a lot. We've got strong opinions on bagels. So yeah, there's this guy right here. Yeah. So two things piss me off as soon as I walk into the bagel place. There's this guy right here who is just like treating the staff very bad. And by the way, everyone in the bagel place, again, is white. And the only people that are people of color in the bagel place are working there. And it's very uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like being around people. I don't like being around rooms of nothing but people that look like me. I don't like it. You know as well as I do, whenever large groups of white people get together to do something, it never works out good. That we get this oppressive thing that rises within our soul. Let's take some shit over, you know? And it just sort of like bugs me. So I'm in the bagel place. And I'm super not. I hate being a customer. I hate doing that to people. Hey, how's it going? Are you doing okay? You know, I would like a bagel. How's your day? Blah, blah, blah. And I sit down. I wait for my bagel. Then this dude walks up and he just goes, Dan, hand to God, this is what he's doing. Oh, my God, this drives me nuts. This is going to segue into your thing. The guy's talking loud on his Bluetooth this. He's having a phone call. Dan, I swear, let me say, okay. So he's like this. He's in line. And
not
he's like,
Bluetooth, you mean speaker.
Okay, speaker, that's the thing. And
Bluetooth
he was saying,
would be annoying. Speaker is like, I want you
speaker's
to be
bad.
awful.
And he's like doing this. He's saying like, yeah, the Bluetooth speaker's not working. The Bluetooth's not working right now. So I got to just, and then of course he's having this conversation. Well, fourth quarter earnings were not as what we suspected. So we need to keep the numbers moving in the right direction, Jonathan. And we need to, I'll talk to Betty about that next week. Perhaps if we can move my meeting. So it's this kind of talk. He's there. And then the person is right in front of him who he's ignoring, the person taking the, excuse me, sir, would you like? Yeah, fourth quarter. Excuse me, sir. Hold on a second. I just got a bagel. Give me an onion bagel toasted. No, please. No, hello.
Yeah.
Nothing. Kind of ignoring this person like he's a subhuman. Onion bagel toasted. So anyway, Jonathan, I need to get back to the front. Excuse me, sir. That'll be $4.95. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know this, Dan. Tell me if I'm wrong. There's a way to pay with your phone like it's Apple Pay or some shit.
Right.
And they hold like some sort of device that gets close to your phone to pay. So this guy, the employee, is holding some sort of thing to get close to the phone.
And his freaking speaker is on?
And he leans in like, oh my God. So this is the thing. This thing here is what reads the Apple
Right.
Pay.
That's the reader. Gotcha.
And the guy is like, he does one of these. Yeah. So anyway, Jonathan, what we want to do, is fourth quarter is like he fucking rolled in. Didn't stop talking about the fourth quarter earnings while this guy, it didn't make any, like this guy wasn't even there. Okay. Now I'm on fire. Now I'm staring at the guy and I'm like, I hate you with the heat of 1,000 suns, Dan. I fucking want something bad to happen to you. By the way, he's with his wife, who's clearly his second wife, some young chippy and they got a kid. They got an ASIN. Me and Dan call little kids ASIN, badly behaved kids.
AYSEN. It's a name we made up. And it means
so now,
annoying child.
Yeah. So now that this guy's talking, now they got an ASIN. ASIN's running around doing what he wants to do. And so the mom's like, hey, honey, what kind of cream cheese do you want? Now ASIN's shut down at this point. Like he's not, and there's a big long line. Honey, what kind of cream cheese do you want? He's not saying a thing. There's a line looking at him. And I'm still getting even angry as this goes. Well, they have a blueberry, strawberry. You want cream cheese? What kind of cream cheese do you want? And it's all what I could do to just fucking get him regular cream cheese. He's 5 years old. Who gives a fuck what he wants? He's 5. He doesn't have. Fuck him. Fuck him. Look behind you. There's a long line of people that are adults that are one order cream. And quite frankly, they know what kind of cream cheese they want. We've got things to do. Get the fucking fuck you, ASIN. You're going to get regular cream cheese because quite frankly, if you don't chime in to tell your mom what kind of cream cheese you want, then you don't get to choose the fucking kind of cream. So
that's how it works.
So now I'm getting just like everything is just irritating me on this level. That I had to get my bagel. Then I get Dan. It goes from they hand me the bagel. It's this big. It's tiny.
Yeah, I hate that.
I eat this bagel and I'm like still hungry after consuming this entire bagel. And I got back up and I'm trying to be nice to the people, of course, right? Hi, can I help you? I go, yeah. Can I get another bagel? That one didn't really fill me up. I want another bagel. Okay, no problem. Okay, cool. Sorry, here you go. And I tip him another $1. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be that guy. Meanwhile, I'm looking over at the ASIN family, and you might want to go to the other picture that I know you got racked up of the ASIN family, and that's what's going on. Now, these aren't the people. This is a random photo.
Yes, that is, just to be clear, this is random.
Just to be clear, it's a random internet family. But it wasn't all that different from this. The ASIN was older. These people were older. The boomer, the sort of the father was kind of like he must have been around 45, but the young wife was super young, just like this lady here. And this was going on. It was like loud. That was a loud thing going on, and he's still carrying the conversation. Yeah, what we're gonna do is keep the needle moving in the right direction.
So ASIN's father was the fourth quarter guy.
Yes. This is the one family.
Oh my God!
And it's right behind me. So I sit down and I'm watching this all go on, and I'm like, fuck. And that's what Scottsdale is to me. It's the entitledness. It's the Rolls Royce. It's the yelling at yelling at the people that are trying to, and be employed. Like when I deal with someone that's a waiter or a waitress or anything like that, I'm over the top nice because we've both had jobs in the restaurant industry. We know what a fucking nightmare that is to be. And quite frankly, when we're there, I'm part of the problem. I fucking hate being a customer. I hate being a customer because I hate doing that to another human being. Hello, sir. Can I take your order? And I feel like they know it's a nightmare. Let me talk about one more thing before you go. I mean, I'm verbose, but I got to tell you this one more thing. So then I go to a fucking Culver's. Culver's is a hamburger joint out here.
I love me some Culver's, man.
I love it so much. It's out of the Midwest.
Custard, I mean,
it's the fucking best. Yeah. So this was like the second day after I'm there with Ro, whatever. We're eating at Culver's, and everyone at Culver's is super nice. And you've seen the movie Get Out by Jordan Peele, right?
No.
You haven't seen this movie? It's like a black horror where you have not seen Get Out.
No.
So all the black, all the black people are sort of like brainwashed because they're hosts for white people to move on in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, but everyone's super fake. So I'm in this movie and people are like, hi, how you doing? Can I take your order? And there's everyone of all different races are working at the Culver's, whatever. But everyone is like over the top, too friendly to be there. At least when you go into McDonald's, they're miserable and they're real. And
they're not pretending. They're not pretending.
Yeah. And I can be super fake as fuck. I did it. That's what I did for a job. But I know I also have the power to know when everyone else is being super fake. And it makes me uneasy. So everyone at the Culver's is like, is your hamburger okay? Is everything okay? Do you need a straw? And we have this one guy come over and he's this big, tall black guy. And he's really good looking. Like this guy should be a fucking model. I mean, I'm not gay, but if I was, this guy'd be at the top of the list, right? He's a really fucking good. He's a really, really good looking guy. Sure. Tall, fit. Yeah. Just like not old or nothing. Like I'm like, why is this guy working at Culver's? Like I couldn't even believe it. So he comes over and Rose sees me that I'm focusing on this guy. She's like, please don't talk to the guy. Don't get involved. And I ignore him. I'm like, oh, I'm getting involved. Excuse me, sir. He goes like, yes. How can I help you? I'm like, how's things going? And he looked at me like, pause. What do you mean? And he had a slight accent, like he was from maybe North Africa or something.
Oh yeah,
but very, very slight.
Did you ask him if he's circumcised? Is that your opening?
I know. I didn't ask any of that. I was just like, how's it going? He's like, really great. And you know what he says? He goes, really great. I love working at Culver's and serving customers like you. And at this point, I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, this is fucked up. There's no way. And I almost said to him, dude, please be real to me. Are you fucking hypnotized? Blink twice if you're in trouble. Like I was like, I don't really trust what's going on. And I kept on going. I'm like, so do they pay you okay? The pay here at Culver's is very good. I'm like, oh, dude, come on, you're killing me. You're not being real. I'm like, then I actually go for this. I'm like, hey man, because we were in the middle of this real racist kind of white area, right? And I'm like, hey man, do you deal with racism here? Are people cool to you? Ever get yelled at and stuff like this? And now Ro is like squirming. She's like, I can't believe he's asking this question. But he's like, everyone is very nice to me here at Culver's. I gave up, Dan. I gave up. I'm like, you're not being
that's just a lie. And it has nothing to do with race. Race aside, people in general are awful. And it doesn't matter if it's white on white, black on black, black on white, white on black, any of it.
I just wanted to ask because I know there's
going through a week in that job without getting some asshole yelling at you.
Yelling at him. So that's why I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? And stuff. And then, whatever. Then we left and I was kind of thinking like, that guy wasn't real to me. Like I've done that same thing in different places, like Home Depot. I didn't want, when this kid was working at Home Depot near the docks back there. And he's like, it's not the best. I'm like, oh. So, but then when we walked out of the Culver's, like I was telling Ro, I'm like, I don't think that guy was telling the truth. I don't think, you know what Ro said to me that was like, made a lot of sense. She's like, maybe he thought you were one of these like company moles that comes in, like sort of a manager. Yeah. And she was really smart because I'm like, dude, that tracks, because then I caught a reflection of myself in the mirror. And I'm like, dude, I look like that fucking guy. You look
like a guy pretending to not be that guy. You know what
right.
I mean?
And I was acting like that guy. And I was like, trying. And I thought back on the conversation. Hey, are you okay? Do they pay you well? Is anyone racist towards you? And I'm like, dude, those sound like the type of questions that somebody like that would ask. And he was
performing from the cash register lately.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that's the whole Scottsdale vibe and the Rolls Royce and the people yelling at other people and the fucking. It just drives me nuts, and I know I talked too much about it, but that's what's annoying the goy this week.
Well, it dovetails nicely into mine because I generally am annoyed by a lot of things, but there's one thing that it makes me mental, and that is when you are in a public place like a restaurant.
Oh my God.
Assholes, with or without children, by the way. I've seen just as much of this with just adults. Forget kids.
Yeah.
With a device, whether it be a phone or an iPad, with the volume turned way up, watching a video, watching something, playing a game. With it, when it's kids, it annoys me because just give the kids some headphones. But when it's adults, it makes me insane.
Dan, is this the move too? Or pick up your phone and show me, do an impression of what you see.
It's more you see this, it's like this. Except the difference is each phone has its speaker on and they're all watching a video. Maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's a TikTok video. I don't know.
And it's in public?
In public. And I've seen it many times where there's multiple devices at the table all turned up and no one gives a fuck. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. I can do what I want. This is fine.
In a restaurant. Where are you most annoyed with it? Like in a restaurant?
What it is this. This is basically what it is. That's really what it is. Can we be honest? If you go to a place, a restaurant, a public place, and you're listening to your iPhone, whether it be a telephone call on speakerphone, whether it be a video, that's you. You're the guy with the boombox with the music no one wants to hear. No offense, Bruce. And
no offense taken.
And it's I don't want to hear it. And the people on the phone, like you're talking about with the when they're walking around and again.
There's something. Why does this?
You just do this.
Why? I know.
Why?
Okay.
Why does it have to be on speaker? Oh, and how about the ones FaceTiming at a restaurant?
Oh.
Do you want to see your grandma? No. Shut up. Order your burger, eat your burger, pay, and leave. Okay?
Have you seen them FaceTiming in the groceries? Okay, you go to Publix. Yeah. Have you seen the guy FaceTiming in Publix saying, well, they have salted caramel. Yeah. They have salted caramel. And then he shows
Yes.
They have salted caramel. Is that what you want, honey? And she's like, no, I want the non-salted caramel.
Do you want the basil, tomato basil, or you want which one?
And you're like, how about you get her to go to the fucking store?
Yeah, no, I listen, man, we just said this on episode 1. I live my life trying to be invisible.
That was a really good sentence you said.
I don't want you to realize I'm there. I want to fly under the radar. I want to go about my business and get out. I'm not looking to disturb another person, period.
Yeah.
Whether it be making them wait unnecessarily, whether it be with noise and this shit with the fucking phones and I'm going to listen to video and here's my child and I don't want a parent. So we're just going to stick an iPad in front of them. And look, I get it. I don't have kids. I don't want to be judgy. If you want your kid to be quiet because you want people to have around you to not have to listen and the iPad works, God bless you. But give the kids some headphones. That's it. I don't want to hear it.
I've never seen a kid with headphones. I've never seen it.
A couple of times, but in general, you're right. I mean, the theme, unfortunately, on what we're getting out and about now is I'm going to tend to my immediate needs, and I don't give two shits about another human being around me. If I want to watch a video, I'm going to watch a video. If I want to talk to my mommy on FaceTime while ordering my martini and my pizza, I'm going to do that. And it makes me mental. It's like, dude, there's other people here. And I just don't know what happened to common courtesy. It's gone. I
mean, it's weird. And I know that when we say that sentence, I don't know what happened to common courtesy. Like that kind of sounds
we
sound like a couple boomers, right?
We all old farts. But look how we were raised. Look how we were raised.
No. But you said something earlier that makes a lot of sense. You were like, I don't want to be that guy that gets noticed and do that to other people. And that really speaks to the Gen X generation of which we are. Like we got like the way our parents, like you do not want to get in trouble with your parents or anyone else. So the more you can, like as kid growing up in the public school, in growing up in New Jersey public school in the 80s or whatever you did is similar. You don't want to get fucking noticed by like the other bad kids in school or the teachers or your parents. You want to just keep it chill and fly under the radar. I don't want the fucking focus on me. Why would I want the focus on me? So you change your own behavior to just like, I just want to, and like you said, like when I go into order like a sandwich or I go into a restaurant, I get into like in Seinfeld, I'm going to get into soup mode, right? If I'm going to go into the soup restaurant, I get into soup mode. And when I go into a restaurant or something, I get into restaurant mode. I get ready to go in the restaurant. I don't want to cause problems.
You act like there is a soup Nazi. You're trying to be quick and efficient. One crab bisque, medium crab bisque, whatever, right?
One medium crab. I mean, yeah, like, and to get up, but just what you're talking about with these people on the phones, like, let me ask you this, because I've always wondered this. I sometimes think that maybe people like me and you are in the wrong, and maybe this is just the culture and behavior changing. And me and you are like relics who think that this is bad. And I will often try to do a poll on Facebook, whatever, to try to look, I'll be accountable. Is this the norm now? Is this the norm where people can just play loud things on their phone and on the iPad? And that's just the way it is now. And we are acting irrationally, like, like remember like back in the day, like our parents would be like, I don't understand Elvis with his hips. This Elvis is swiveling around with his hips. And it's too sexual, and I don't like it. Like, are we turning into that guy? And the new Elvis with the hips is just loud phones out in public, and we just think we're just
Elvis with the hips was on television, and you may not have liked it, but it's not. You don't have to watch it, right? But if you're playing your fucking phone at 10, I have to listen to it, and you're right next to me. So it's very simple. Are you directly impacting another human being who cannot avoid you? And that's the bottom line. When you're in the self-checkout and you take an extra 10 minutes because you can't figure out how to fucking scan an item, or when you are at a left turn arrow and you're on your fucking phone and you make people wait to the next cycle because you weren't paying attention, you're affecting other people's day.
But I'll be devil's advocate, because this is the argument I've heard when I brought this up sometimes. So the guy talking on his phone that's doing this in line. Let's just say it's one single guy and he's talking on the phone like this. So, and I start riffing on that, being like, that guy sucks, blah, blah, blah. And, someone will say to me, well, Bruce, what's the difference between that guy talking like that and maybe he's having an animated conversation with another person? You can still hear his voice. He's talking in public, but blah, blah, blah. Isn't it just the same thing to be hearing his voice in public? And I'm like, okay.
No, I don't think it's his voice. No, it's not his voice that's the problem. It's the fact that he has the other person on speaker on his phone. There's something about that speaker. You know what I mean? If he were in line with another person and they were talking.
But even on Bluetooth, I find it annoying. Like, I'll be honest. If some guy's got the earbuds in and he's just talking ba 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 ba, and it's like you only hear one side of the conversation. Like, I used to play this game when Bluetooth first came out, and I would call it Bluetooth or Crazy Homeless Person. What is it? Because you'd be in a grocery store and there'd be some guy walking around. Not one of his phone like this. There'd be some guy walking around just like, yeah, so Donna told me last week that I would be left over and we should go to Delaware and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like a homeless guy just walking around the streets having this fucking crazy conversation. Like he's crazy. Like he's just literally talking to himself because he's crazy. But no. And like when you're around the guy that's talking to himself, that's talking crazy on the sidewalk, you give that motherfucker a wide berth because you don't know like what's going on in his head. He's fucking crazy. This guy's fucking talking to himself full volume in public. That's crazy. But then the guy on the phone with the Bluetooth, same thing, but he's having a conversation. But really to everybody else, I don't know. I don't fucking like it, Dan.
I don't like it. It does annoy me as well. It's not something I would ever do. I don't like it. But
I don't like it.
Way less offensive than the person with the speakerphone. Or listening to
all right, so is it the speakerphone? It's like this. Here's my impression. Yeah, so Larry, what we want to do is we want to build the numbers up next week. What do you think? Well, because did you talk to Donna? Well, Donna said it was fine. Oh my God.
It's basically grades, right? Like having any phone conversation on your cell phone while you're in like a restaurant or in public or whatever is, in my mind, off-putting. But in that way where it's either FaceTime or speakerphone, it is
Oof.
extra level rude. That's all. You go from off-putting to I'd like to punch you in the face. You know what I mean?
You know, and you're 100% right. And I know this makes people like me and you like total fucking relics, but like, say I'm in the bagel place and my phone's ringing, or like I know I need to make a phone call. What do you do, Dan?
So for me, I look and see who it is. If it's a call I know I have to take, which is not common. Typically, I'll just let it go to voicemail. But if it's not a call I know I have to take, I will take the call, but I'll walk outside.
You what? Thank you. I knew you were going to say that because you're a good human being. When you get a phone call, you fucking walk your ass outside.
Outside.
You go. I mean, so if it's like urgent, you'd be like, "Hold on a second, I'm going to walk outside." Yeah, that's it. Oh my God, bro, I got to walk outside. And then you walk outside, and then you're outside in public. Then you can be like, have a phone conversation. That's acceptable human behavior. Yeah. It is.
Yes.
But not in the fucking store. No, not in the restaurant.
If you absolutely, for whatever reason, are trapped inside and you can't leave for whatever reason, and you have to have a phone call, do it with it to your ear.
Right.
Or Bluetooth.
And there's a way to do it like,
what's going on? You're not being loud and you don't have to hear the other person. And we just be, but again, we're asking for too much. I mean,
and you keep it short, by the way. Like I've done this, and you feel bad about it. Like, ring. What is it? I'm in the grocery store.
There?
It's like, well, you know, what is it? Okay, that's fine. I'll call you back then later. I'm in the grocery store right now. Okay. And I'm like, and even then, I feel like if someone looks at me, I'm just like, oh my God, sorry, I talked in the grocery store. Like, I don't want to be that fucking guy. No, I'm with you 100%. I'm so annoyed by this.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. It makes me nuts. Anyway, we got to move on before my blood pressure triples. So I want to go to a fun
fucking story. Dan, do it with me. Serenity now. Serenity now. Serenity now.
So here in North Central Florida, we had an occurrence on Christmas Day. And I have a personal connection to this. So I wanted to do this story because I think it's it's
got a couple interesting levels.
In a dark, from a dark kind of morbid point of view, it's interesting. I mean, it's very sad what happened. Very sad what happened. Disclaimer, very sad.
Let me just preface this. Of course, awful. It's very
close. But so many stereotypes playing into this that I just feel like it's worth us kind of going into. So, all right. So you had this woman, she's 38. She was arrested following a high-speed chase after killing a woman and injuring a man. So basically, this woman had a baby daddy. And they had been together since September 2021. They had an 11-month-old child. After the baby was born, the woman came to believe that the father had been seeing another woman for a while. Now, they weren't married, I don't believe, but they had this kid. So she told I guess it was a husband of, I guess the woman who was having an affair with the guy was also married. She told the husband, and then the truth came
out somehow.
Comes out, and there's paperwork filed for custody. On December 20th, the court ordered her and the father to share it 50-50, which is just how it goes.
Yeah, that's common. They
agreed. Okay, on Christmas, I'm going to turn your kid over to you for Christmas at 2 p.m. Christmas Day at this Walgreens, right?
And this, by the way, let me interject. This is new, right? So this is they just had the court happen on this, and this place where they were going to meet up at was going to be the very first time of the here you go, take this kid for a little while. That's the first. It was going to be the first one. It's a messy
situation, so
it's fresh.
I guess he had been with this other woman. The other woman was married, and the mother, the baby mama, agrees to 50-50 and to drop the kid off. Okay. She leaves her house with her 5 children in the car.
She's got 5 other kids in the car.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
5 kids in the car. Pulls into
5 fucking kids.
Pulls into a nearby store. Gives her oldest son her debit card, food stamp card, and instructions on how to pay. And he thought that was weird, but he did it. It doesn't say how old he is. She then arrived at the Walgreens store first and takes out a gun while sitting in her car.
Which I'm sure all the kids saw, what are you doing?
So there's 4 other kids at this point. So the victims, which is the guy, the baby daddy, and his girlfriend, they arrive in the car that belongs to the girlfriend. And the woman driving, and he's in the front seat. He gets out of
And
the
the
car.
baby, is the baby in the car? I guess the baby's in the
Baby's
car.
with the baby mama still. She
Okay,
hasn't
good.
turned the kid over. She's bringing the
Okay.
kid to turn the kid over. So the guy gets out of the car, and then the guy gets out of the car, and then the baby mama gets out of the car with the gun behind her back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
walks toward the driver's side where the girlfriend is sitting, and then shoots her 3 times. Then goes to the back towards the passenger where he had jumped in the car when he saw the gun.
Yeah.
And jumps in the car and shot him 3 times, and then yells, "You made this happen," while shooting him.
Wow.
Okay, this is all on video. The girlfriend died on the scene.
The one that was in the driver's seat, she just took the 3
girlfriend
bullets right to the
died.
noggin. Yeah.
Yes, so this crazy woman executed her, and then
Straight
the
up.
guy. It doesn't say in this article, but he survived. I know this because he's a friend of a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
So, thank God he's alive. So she then, the woman, the shooter, returns to the car, drives northbound on a major thoroughfare at high speed. I guess gunshots were heard, officers were scrambled, and they pursued her 13 miles with the 5 kids. And I'm guessing, I guess she got the boy back. Who she?
That's the part of the story I didn't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't
I thought
say.
that kid
So
would be, but he must have been just. He's in the car.
Presumably, he got back after doing whatever. So
Yeah.
100 miles an hour.
Jesus.
So during the pursuit, she calls 911, says she shot 2 people, gave their first and last names, and said the police are following her. Her kids can be heard pleading with her to pull over. Okay.
Can you imagine the scene in that car?
She's then arrested near the Taco Bell in this little town called Alachua, where officers found a discarded firearm and 2 additional loaded magazines. So she's
ready. She's ready to go.
Depending on the gun, you're talking about 30 plus bullets to
Easy.
shoot 2 people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems smart. After she gets read her rights, she said the police already knew what happened because they had reviewed surveillance video. How does she know that already? And she's been charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of child neglect with great bodily harm. So she's done.
She's
right?
done. Yeah.
Done. And this is Florida, so could end up going the Ted Bundy route. So she has no criminal history, but was convicted of worthless checks in 2004 and assault in 2005, and the bail was set at $2 million. So I mean,
it's a hell of a story, man.
I mean, you could just look at her and be like, "Oh man!" Like,
so for the people that aren't looking at this, describe this woman. I mean, if people are just listening to the
so
podcast.
She's only 38. If you had not told me her age, I would have placed her late 40s. Okay,
that's a fucking rough 38. Just some like white lady with like long brown hair.
Making fun of this woman. This is pure evil. She executes this poor girl look. She's having an affair with the baby daddy. Okay, all right, a little unseemly. Okay, for sure.
Is this picture here the woman that drove the car that did the shooting, or is this woman the one that got shot?
That's the mugshot of the shooter.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. So she's no good.
The bad lady. Yeah,
the bad lady. Yeah.
I actually don't know anything about the girlfriend who died. So,
no.
Rest in peace. But anyway, so this woman, so she's in her late 30s. She looks my age at least. I'm 50. She looks around there, maybe a little younger than that because she doesn't have gray hair. But just you can tell, like circles under the eyes. Just that look of, 5 kids. I mean, what does that tell you? Just he doesn't know when to quit, and it's a bad scene, man. I don't know. I know that the guy lived. I assume, I don't know his condition. He was shot 3 times. I don't know his condition, but I know he lived, so that's good.
So wait a minute. So the baby daddy and the girlfriend show up in a car to hand over custody of the little baby.
Pick up.
Where's the baby? Is the baby in the car?
I assume the baby is one of the 5 kids, 11 months old. 11 months old. Strapped.
Oh, wait a minute. She was there to hand over one of her 5 kids, who was the baby, to this guy.
Correct.
Oh, I see. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, that makes sense.
To meet at 2 p.m. at this Walgreens. She's going to bring the baby, 11-month-old kid. I mean, can you even wrap? Let's put it this way, Bruce. Is there a woman on earth who you could be dating and then find out she's having an affair that would make you do this? Like, I can't wrap my head around that. I can't. I could find out tomorrow that my wife of 20 years has been cheating on me for years with another guy, right?
Right.
I would be upset. Yes, of course. I would probably be more mad at the guy, or at least as mad at the guy, I guess, and I'd be mad at her too. But like, I wouldn't. I can't even imagine wanting to.
No, you're
kill
right.
someone.
Like I wouldn't.
I'd be like, I want to get the hell away from you. You're a
Yeah.
fucking terrible human being. I'm angry. Leave. Go away. I would hire the best lawyers I can get. Try to screw her. All that good stuff. But
right.
And especially we have a kid with this person. Like,
see, I don't understand. Like, so now, and she's got 5.
She tried to shoot him too. She was trying to shoot the father of your child.
You know what it is, Dan? It's just crazy blind rage. Like she was probably just so pissed. And sometimes, I mean, I don't know how you are, but sometimes I'll get so pissed over something. But you can see, and I mean, I hold it together fairly somewhat, but you could see how people get so pissed over something and they just do illogical shit while they're in the heat of the moment they wouldn't do because they're so pissed. And quite often those things are
Bruce,
things that are illegal.
Would you load a gun and take 2 extra magazines and get in your car and
see that's what the lawyer's going to talk
about? Get out of your car with the gun and then walk up to the side of the car with the gun and then shoot the woman, the innocent woman, 3 times, and then try to shoot the husband, your ex, 3 times.
I think you'll find that this story is way more common than what we think. This happens all the time with jilted lovers and baby daddies, and it doesn't make sense.
Murder, first degree.
Oh yeah, no, I think this happens quite a bit.
I'm sure assault happens where I get mad and I try to hit the guy banging, who's sleeping with my wife, or maybe I get angry with the wife in the heat of a moment, and I wouldn't hit a woman, but let's say I pushed her like something, or out of frustration, whatever. But I cannot wrap my head around this in any way. Like, and
no, I can't wrap my head around it. But I don't think this is a rare thing. I think this happens. I mean, I was living in Moab, Utah. Something like this happened. Where someone is just like, they're super angry at their partner, whether there's kids involved or not, they will shoot that person. They will shoot the woman.
Not only are you willing to end the life of this woman,
throw my life away and go to jail forever.
And not only that, what's going to happen to you. You're never going to see your kids again. Like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, what's the
they don't care. They don't care at that moment.
What's the best case scenario for this one? What's the best case scenario?
They throw their life away.
The best case scenario is that she spends the rest of her life in jail. That's her best case scenario. I don't get it.
I think she just got so angry in the moment because, I mean, the part of the story that's interesting is like, this whole divorce or shared custody thing had just gone through. And this was going to be the first time that they meet each other up for her to hand him the baby for the very first time. Let's meet at the Walgreens or whatever. I don't know what happened with this, but let me just put you in my mind's eye. She's, of course, is pissed, and it shows, what's the word? Premeditated. It's premeditated because she brings the extra clips and she brings the gun. She's like, I'm going to shoot this motherfucker. But then she probably rolled up and saw, like, the word, he was probably like, I bet they had a phone conversation. But okay, so you'll meet me at the Walgreens at noon? Yeah. Is she going to be there? Well, of course she's going to be there. What are you going to do about it? Like, maybe something happened with that. I'm thinking, like, maybe part of the whole trigger was that she was going to fucking be there. Like, so I don't know.
The idea that she's handing over her child to not just him, but to where this woman is going to be around.
Right. So she's super pissed. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I might understand. Like maybe she's like, okay, I got to hand over my kid to this guy, and the fucking woman who's cheating on me is also there, and she's going to take my place. Like, she's going to hold the kid and whatever. So she's probably got this whole thing in her head, like, oh, great, now I got to hand over my little baby to this jerk and his new girlfriend. It's like, I'm just going to pop fucking some caps right in their head and just be done with it. And of course, but the part that's crazy in my story, the story is like the 5 kids in the car. I'm thinking about the 5 kids in the car. You got 5 fucking kids. You got 5 fucking kids. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's a big red flag right there.
You tried to orphan one of those children, knowing probably in the back of her head that she's going to go to jail, which means they have no parents.
She got 5 kids. And not only that, there's a couple 5 kids. There's 5 kids. Let's put them all in the car during all this and give them lifelong trauma. They're going to witness all this shit, right? The oldest one shows premeditated. I'm going to give you, here's the credit card. I'm going to show you how to pay off this thing, because she knows, she's like, because now you're going to be in control on how to do all this shit, because mom is going to either die or go away for a long time. I'm going to show my oldest kid how to pay the fucking bills and do X, Y, Z. That's why, because it said in the story, the kid said, this is the first time she's ever showed me how to do this. And it was like, why am I doing it? So she's getting ready.
The oldest realized something was up, basically.
Oh, the oldest. I mean, I'm thinking the oldest probably like 13 years old. Let's just say
And she's
kids probably
38, so oh yeah, easily, because she probably
easily.
started having kids in her 20s. So
Well,
yeah.
Dan, no disrespect, but in Florida, I
How
mean,
dare you,
y'all
sir?
get started quite early,
How dare you,
So.
sir? Florida's a very diverse. Florida is a very diverse state, man. Very, but yes,
Oh.
in this part of Florida, you are correct. You are correct.
But it's a crazy story. And then another part of the story is okay. So you said you know the person, and it was a
Well, I know,
police chase.
I know a guy who knows the person.
Friend of a friend. Two
Yeah.
people. But you also said it was a 13-mile, 100-mile police chase. Now,
100 miles.
Was it televised? Let me ask you this: Did it show up on the news? Like, did they have the helicopter overhead and
No, the only thing that showed up
live
in the news
footage
was the fact that there was a shooting. So
yeah,
and it was Christmas, so like that road would have been.
Oh, that's the story. There's Christmas morning.
It would have been very quiet because like people aren't out driving around. I mean, it's
yeah.
Christmas, so.
Dude, that's a nasty story. I mean, like
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, I'm sure you do the same thing too. You fantasize about like when you watch a violent movie, like what would it really take for me to kill a motherfucker? Like what is that? What, really go over the line. Like what's going to happen, And of course, I think it's normal and almost a little healthy for most people to watch these violent movies and to think about it, like, oh, whatever. But there's the line of the mental unhealth is to like, who crosses the line and does it? Like that's a big fucking line. Just like how in music, like we listen to heavy metal music and stuff and talks about worshiping the devil and doing occult killings and stuff like this. It's like, it's fun to think about and fantasize, but who's going to really do it? Right? Who's really going to, and so that's the big fucking difference, Yeah. She did it. She went there.
It's crazy to think that you were driven to a point in your head like
so
dire and so the end of your rope, like rock bottom end of your rope, that you're willing to go to that extreme.
It's where the revenge gets so high. I hate this person so much. The revenge is so high that I don't care if I'm going to ruin all my family. I don't care if they're going to throw me away to jail for the rest of my life. I'll just do this and fuck him. Like on a weird level, I can almost kind of understand. Like I don't know. I've been wronged.
No one hates human beings more than me in general.
That's true.
But I can't wrap my head around, even if I don't care if they die, let's say they're just evil and a bad person or whatever, I would never want the repercussions of any murder, any killing is just huge, not just on that person and their family and people who like care about them, but then you and people who depend on you. And I mean, just slash their tires or something, key the car. Put some bleach in the gas tank, whatever. I mean,
oatmeal's good too.
Oatmeal. If you're that mad, egg their front door, toilet paper their house. There's so many things you could do to send that message. Take out an ad in the newspaper and say, "Did you know that?" Seriously, there's so many things you can do. I just, it's crazy, man. I'll have to check with my friend to see how the guy's doing. Because I think there's
we'll do a follow-up, but I mean, it's an interesting story, and the police chase, I can only imagine in my mind's eye, like what it was like in that car in the back seat for those fucking 5 kids. Yeah, the kids are aware of what's going on. They see the gun, they know what's going on, they hear the boom, 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 and that's going to be, those fucking 5 kids are going to be in brutal therapy for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, they're all going to develop severe addiction. I mean, come on. I go to NA meetings and NA meetings.
Of the 5,
right?
Statistically, given what we know right now, how many do you think are going to turn out okay? Maybe 2?
None of them. All 5 are done.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, here's what I think. You're lucky if one of them comes out, if one of them goes to therapy early, really does the work. One of them might be, I'd say 4 out of the 5 are absolutely gonna lifelong repercussions of just, who knows, how like these things manifest. They could have like an eating disorder that roots itself into that one day where
it does manifest itself in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't like kids, but I do feel bad for those kids. And
I do. I'm with you there. I'm no fan of kids, but this story is like pretty horrible what you did to those fucking kids.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get some info. I'll let you know what I find out. But I think they have a GoFundMe. I might throw a few shekels towards the husband. And
look at you,
dude. Yeah, I feel bad. I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. Like, yeah, he was cheating on her. It's not a nice thing to do, but didn't deserve to be shot. Didn't deserve.
No, she's a crazy lady. Look, she's a crazy lady. with a gun, and there's a lot of that out there. I mean, she like her emotions, like, I mean that'll bring you to like other issues. Like if she is, did she have it said in the article said that she did not have too much of a criminal history, right?
Nope,
Just wrote a couple bad checks.
Couple little things. That's it. Yep. And
so
nothing for like 10, 15 years.
I wonder if they, there was like some good like background checks in order to get a gun. If she would have passed those background checks.
Oh, yeah. If you're talking about the stuff that was on there from
it was bad checks, right? Bad checks,
and then there was like an assault thing, I think, but it was a long time ago. It wasn't recent.
They would let that go. Yeah, they would let that go. That's interesting.
And even if she didn't get the gun, I mean, if she has a family member.
So follow up on this story, because I want to find out like how she got the gun, or whose gun it was, and how this dude is doing.
There's no telling there. I mean, it could have been.
I mean, I gotta know. Like, so now we're invested in the story.
Okay,
I gotta fucking find out what's going on with this gun.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that gun wasn't hers, meaning someone else bought it and she got hold of it.
I'm going to 100% agree with you on that. There's no way that she responsibly went out, got a gun, and just had it ready to go. She got it from like maybe one of her creepy friends or whatever. I mean, there's going to be more to this. There's going to be more to the story.
Now there was some break-ins in my.
There's going to be more to the story. Like she's going to have addiction issues, mental health issues. Like she might not have like on paper, she's probably got a clean police record, but there's other things going on. There's clearly other things going on.
Clean police record means nothing.
No, I know it means nothing. Fucking no. Yeah. I got a clean police record. Okay,
we know you're not.
We know full well
the
horrors.
Yeah, you drive around listening to fucking Nicki Minaj on your big bass thing. So, like,
you're an
enemy of society. You're an enemy.
Dan is going to come visit me in Arizona, and we're going to meet up. And I've told Dan, I'm going to get you in my car, which has a big hoopty sound system on it.
I won't get in that car if you turn that thing.
You're getting in the car.
No, not if you turn that. If you put on Led Zeppelin 2, I'll get in the car.
I will lie to you and tell you I'm putting on Led Zeppelin 2. And then once we're traveling down the road at 80 miles an hour. Dan, no. I mean, look, that story was pretty fucking horrible. But I have a thing with police chases. Like I'm addicted to live police chases. Mm-hmm. And I've got my settings set up on my phone or on Facebook. Like sometimes I'm on these like live chase groups. And you know how it is, mostly out of LA. There'll be like breaking news. There's a live chase happening on the 405 in West LA. I get bing, my phone goes whatever. And wherever I'm at, I will stop and watch this live fucking chase. Like I'm heavily addicted to these live chases.
Hold on. You got to hear this. The pig wants to be let out. He's in his closet because it's raining out and he doesn't.
Oh, really?
Outside, but now he wants to go out. He's making a lot of
Can
noise.
You get the pig on camera? I can hear him a little.
Yeah. He's in his closet. The door's closed. He has his little room. It's my closet. The door's closed.
I mean, look, Dan.
I gotta let him out. He's getting angry.
All right, Dan is a nice guy. He rescues pigs and senior dogs.
Yeah.
So I don't care what you think about Dan, and I know you think lowly of him.
And I would not shoot my baby daddy.
You would not shoot your baby daddy. I'm not saying I would shoot my baby daddy, but I might shoot a motherfucker. That's true. I might. I don't know if I feel the same way about human life than you.
That's like, the thing, man. We do white collar crime. We don't do no.
I think I would. I think I could.
You're a goy. Of course, you're a goy. If I told that story about that woman to my Jewish grandfather who died many years ago, he would go, "Oh, goyim." That's what he would say.
That's a goyish shamuv, right? I mean, for sure.
Yes. Yes. All right, I gotta go let Wilbur out. It's been a good episode, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Don't get shot.
We won't. Peace. Have a good one.